Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Crystal Barrett's May I Scraplift You. And today's creative scrapper that I'm lifting is Moira O'Reilly. And this is the layout that she scrapped that I am lifting. Her picture has ice in it. She had an ice storm. Mine has ice in it. I had an ice storm. But I think I've got her beat on the ice. Yeah, mine is thicker. However, I have to be truthful and say it's from two ice storms, back to back, less than 24 hours apart. And it just kept coming. So, yeah, that's my picture. And I'm using a very old collection. It's We Are Memory Keepers, I believe. And it uh, was called Winter Frost. That's it. And I'm going to use those two strips of paper that I embossed with that embossing folder there. And this is why my title is not the same as hers. I started to do ice, but I ran across those while I was looking for snowflakes and decided to make a different title. I am going to use that die there as a stencil so I can put some snowflakes on my layout in the background. And I'm using scraps. I didn't go with the really white paper. I went with the whipped cream because my papers that I'm using, well, they have kind of a distressed look and they're kind of a grayish color. So I thought this would go better. I'm using Vicky Bouton Spearmint Metallic Texture Paste. And I'm just going to kind of, well, use the packaging technique and put some here and there on the layout for that color. I was looking to see what I had was that color, and that was the closest I could come to what was in the papers and my cardstock. Yeah. This collection came with cardstock. It came, well, it was all in one package and 48 sheets of paper. That's why I am still using it. And it's heavy paper, so it's nice paper. But it had embossed stickers and a title thing, and I don't remember what all, but cardstock was among it, and I still have a little. So I made sure I matched what I had. I didn't have enough to use it, but I used some other cardstock that was the same color, or super close anyway. Uh, I'm using Stormy Skies for those snowflakes that's on there, and oh, my picture is a little bigger than hers. Hers is portrait, and well, she even has an 8.5 by 11 paper because she was scrapping for Stretch a Sketch. And I thought, well, I don't want to cut my branches off, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it like it is. And I didn't want to print it smaller, it was already printed. So I did cut a tiny bit off just to fit the scrap that I hunted down. The blue one. The blue one was the one that wasn't a full sheet of paper. But the other one I had to cut into 12 by 12. I cut out the icicle thing there and I painted it with some shimmer paint. But I'm adding, well, I added, I think it's called Shimmer's Glitter Glue. I think something like that. Anyway, I added it because I'm using it for everything because I figured that if I watered it down a little, I could use the brush and I could put it on there. And if I didn't have those, well, those sparkly things, they are called confetti and they're from Spellbinders. Well, I thought they got to be better than glitter, right? I don't know. I just really don't know if they're any better or not. I ended up with them everywhere. And usually I'm very frugal. I mean, I usually clean something up, put it back in the container, and save it. Yeah. Well, this I didn't. I took a wet paper towel and I mean, I just wiped it all off into the trash can. I decided I wasn't going to save it. That my jar looked just as full as when I started, so I figured that it's going to go a long way, and I'll never miss it. So yeah, it was a lot of static cling. Yeah, it was quite the experience. So don't use Spellbinders confetti on your layout. unless you want to make a mess and have it everywhere. And I had to clean it up right then because I was doing another layout right after it. Because I thought I'd just wait and do the voiceovers one after the other. Well, yeah. It looks really pretty on the paper too. And it looks clear. It looks white. It looks green. It looks pink, depending on how the light hits it. So I guess it's iridescent confetti, but I thought it'd help give the look of cold ice. I am making the cluster down there on the bottom left, just like Moira has. Well, maybe not just like it, but it is just like it in the corner. Let's put it that way. I went ahead and put some ice, because, it looked like ice to me, on the circle, and I'm gonna see that right there. I picked up the wrong cutter thing, and since I am getting low on this paper finally, I thought, oh man, I made that a little too big. I thought I gotta cut it down. So I just adhered it to that glass and tried again. So I ended up with that ring there. And I thought I gotta use it on the layout. So I decided to cut it in half and use part up there on the larger cluster and part on the lower cluster. Now this little die, it's the cutest little die. It comes with the eyes and nose already there, and it faces to my left normally, but I had to turn it over. And when it faces to the left, it fits nice and snug in the die, and you can color the eyes and the nose. Well, when you turn it over the other way, you got to make sure you got the right spot and you hold it still. And I think it moved a tiny bit on the carrot on the nose because it's kind of got like a little teeny bit of curve in it. But then I thought, oh, well, that's cute anyway because it looks like some of the carrots I've seen. So, yeah, you got to hold it still. I didn't do a very good job, but I wanted him facing into the layout instead of out, especially since I had that big circle right next to him. There, I have that one die there, and it's a pretty small little thing of circles and snowflakes. But and see why it was such a mess. I mean, I wasn't even careful once I got going because I thought it's being neat was not helping. So I thought I might as well embrace it and clean up later. I fussy cut this geotag out of one of the papers. Oh, I think it was probably a 2x2 little thing to cut out. And I put it on top of that circle there. And then I have this one snowflake that's bigger than the rest. And I thought I'd have it up there on the picture because, it is snow. It's not like I'm going to cover snow. It's ice. It's ice. There was no snow. It was ice. And I live way out in the country, trees all around me. I kept a radio, one of those old transistor radios, even had the little 9-volt, well, I still have it, 9-volt battery, so I could listen to music all day because of the trees. That ice was weighing them down, and you could hear the branches popping and cracking over and over again. I mean, it was not quiet at all, even though I had no electric and could not play the TV or anything else. It was not quiet, so I had to find something to make some noise so I wouldn't hear it, and especially at night when I try to go to sleep. Oh my goodness. But I ate well. I took the best stuff out of my freezer and ate it first. And of course, I have a wood stove. Lots and lots of people I know did not have a wood stove. They were very cold. And I was very blessed because my neighbor, about 10 o'clock every morning, would bring me some more wood down. They are such a blessing to me. And so, yeah, I was really thrilled. But yeah, we couldn't even get out. The trees were hanging low over well, it's a 1-car lane going up and down the hill, so somebody has to back up if you meet. Because that ice was weighing down the branches so bad. Well, you can see what they look like right there. And that it was like Oh, it kind of reminded me of those doorways years ago that they had beads hanging there and you had to push the beads out of the way to go through. You had to kind of scoot branches away to walk down the hill because after 6 days of taking off work and using my vacation time in January, I decided I wanted to keep a few. So I went ahead and walked down the hill. And my friend's husband said he'd come get me. I said, and I will meet you at the bottom hill. He said, no, I'll drive up there. I said, no, you won't. I said, you won't make it up there. And he met me about halfway up the hill. He says, I did not believe you when you said I wouldn't make it up the hill. He said, let me have your bag. He said, I'll walk you the rest of the way down since I couldn't drive you. But yeah, it had funny moments, but yeah, it was cold and there was people that had electric off much longer than I did. So I was blessed with only 9 days of no electric. Of course, I wasn't home the last two, but yeah, it finally warmed up where it melted, and it melted pretty quick because it warmed up pretty good. But I've got all this iridescent looking stuff. Oh, and it was really pretty in the sunlight. It just shined on all those trees. And that's one reason I picked this glittery confetti stuff and put it on here. But I think I'm about done. So make sure you check out the master link down there below for the playlist and see what everybody else has been creating and who they've been scrap lifting. I kind of went rogue today because this is not one on the list. Moira is like one of my oldest YouTube buddies. And, well, her and Joan, Mrs. Superklutz, are the two oldest ones that I see here on YouTube anymore. So, yeah, I will leave Moira's link down there below too, so you can go check her channel out. If you haven't already, I just cannot see anybody that hasn't, but I'll leave it down there below just in case you have somehow missed her. But if you leave a comment below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. And thank you all for watching my video today. I know there is plenty out there you could be watching, so I appreciate you watching mine. And find somebody to scrap lift and post it on Instagram with hashtag MISY. Yeah, that's it. Oh, and 2023. So it's a little longer because, it's for 2023. But yeah, and post it on Instagram so we can see what you created. But yeah, there's my little snowman, and he's just as cute as he could be. And so easy to make. But have a happy scrappy week. Have fun playing videos. Have fun scrapping. Bye.